What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Zaynomics Gaming. Today I wanted to cover some news within Destiny 2. I also wanted to go over the 3060 that was released by Nvidia, as well as go over the Dead Man's Tale Catalyst. I also have some upcoming videos for you guys, so please stay tuned for that. First, we're going to jump into the Dead Man's Catalyst. I will leave timestamps below for everything else that we talk about in this video. Now let's jump right into it. Now for Dead Man's Catalyst, you have to complete the Presage mission on Master difficulty, and the recommended power is about 1320. Now if you have Anarchy, you will have no trouble completing this at all. Also, there's a 25-minute timer. Other than that, the mission is the same. There are currently no champions in it. I'm not sure if it's a bug or whatnot. I'm sure Bungie will fix it in the future, so keep that in mind. If you really are trying to complete the Presage mission on Master and get this catalyst, you definitely want to try to do it this weekend, because when Tuesday rolls around, there could be a patch and then you'll have to deal with additional champions and stuff like that. Fortunately for us, we did not have to counter that problem, so whatever loadout you decide to use, you don't have to worry about using anti-barrier or unstoppables or anything like that. You can go in with any loadout you want. Just make sure you have every element, so void, arc, and solar, because the chieftains, there's a bunch of them. There's arc, solar, and void. They're all over the mission, so you definitely got to have something to combat those enemies. I recommend running a bubble if you're a titan, running a well if you're a warlock, or if you're a titan, you could use a thunder crash if you have the new exotic. That could really take out the boss pretty quickly. But other than that, the mission is the same, although you do have the 25-minute timer. You want to try to get to the boss room with 8 to 9 minutes left to ensure you have enough time to complete the mission itself. Once you get Dead Man's Catalyst, if you find chests throughout the mission, you can scan the little data pads. If you unlock a door and you open a chest, you'll gain progress towards the catalyst, whether you have the catalyst or not. So it took me 2 runs to finish it on Master. I had 30% with the catalyst progression because I opened 2 chests on those 2 separate missions. So it gave me bonus progress. Now to complete the catalyst itself, I just went ahead and went into the blind well, and I completed blind well challenges. I think it was like 2. I think I did 2 or 3 runs, and I was able to complete the catalyst very quickly. I mainly decided to do the blind well because of the reissue of the Dreaming City weapons, so you can regrind for those weapons, and the same goes for Altar of Sorrows on the Moon. You can regrind for those weapons as well and come out with updated rolls. Now, as far as the catalyst goes, the RPM, the rounds per minute, will go up to 150 if you're hip firing. Now, if you look in the background gameplay, I was really just trying to see how good it would actually work, and it works surprisingly well. But you have to remember that this is a scout rifle, so first and foremost, you always want to play with it as a scout rifle. I don't recommend trying to run up or rush people while using this, because it's just hard to maneuver for me personally. I don't like the handling of it when you're trying to get in those close quarters engagements. Now if a shotgunner is trying to rush you, definitely put on the hip fire and just bang away. But other than that, you still want to use it as a scout rifle. Now as far as the hip fire penalties go, they're completely eliminated, and the weapon works really great. I love it in PvE especially, but for PvP, you definitely want to still use it as a scout rifle. Now if you're playing quick play or something like that, where you're just playing control for fun, I was just trying to bang off shots and just see how far I can go off with and still get the kill. Now that is fun in a sense. It's pretty much just like Last Word. So I really enjoy the weapon. I definitely think you guys should complete the mission and get the catalyst and try to upgrade it as quickly as possible, because it is a blast to play with inside of PvP just for fun. I don't really recommend it as like a competitive game mode type weapon. I think your hand cannons will still be meta, and that's all I really have to say about that. Now definitely try to get this catalyst this weekend, because like I said, there are no champions inside this mission. I know it says there is, but as of right now, there is currently no champion, so it's a lot easier to do. Remember, you need to at least have 8 to 9 minutes to finish off the boss, because he's 3 phases. Other than that, the mission is completely the same, so please go out and try to do it this weekend like I said. Now moving on to other news. This past week during the TWAB, Bungie stated that sunsetting will be no more. So if you earned any weapons, any god rolls from Season of the Worthy forward they will not sunset. So definitely hang on to those weapons. Now, if you have anything from the past, I would just go ahead and dismantle it. Like even the legacy weapons like Revoker and all that stuff, you can always just re-pull it from collections, especially if you're hurting for enhancement cores. But like I said, overall, that's just my opinion. I don't plan to use anything like that because it's just not worth it. I'm not going to spend, you know, those astronomical materials, in my opinion. Like Believe it not forgotten, they want to have 2 ascendant shards. I'm not going to spend 2 ascendant shards for something that's sunset and no longer viable inside of Destiny 2. But that's just my opinion. I just wanted to let you guys know that sunsetting is no more from Season of the Worthy forward. So everything before Season of the Worthy, gone. You can't use it no more. Now, also, the Witch Queen will be delayed till early 2022. So we will not get a fall expansion. Instead, we will get an additional season. So instead of getting that fall expansion, you know, the Witch Queen inside of 2021 of fall, we're going to get it in early 2022. And that's pretty much the gist of the news this week inside of Destiny. The delay for Witch Queen and also sunsetting is no more. Those are the 2 big outliers inside of this week's news, in my opinion. Now, briefly, I wanted to go over the GeForce RTX 3060. It released a couple days ago, and I want to just give you some specs about it. Currently, right now, they are not available, and most places are selling this for way over MSRP. You got some people that are selling it for about $500, and the MSRP for this particular graphics card is only $329. Now, the memory size is 12 gigabytes, but that's more of a marketing gimmick because you're not going to be able to use a full 12 gigabytes of VRAM inside of those higher resolutions, because this card is only recommended for a slight 1440. Once you get in that 4K realm or something like that, the performance just drops off, and it's really just not worth it, in my opinion. So with the 12 gigabytes of VRAM, it really doesn't matter. 8 gigs would be perfectly fine. You're not going to be able to spec this card out and run 4K at ultra settings. It's just not going to happen, especially with the bus width only being a 192-bit. You're just not going to have the power there compared to like a 3080 or 3090. Now, with this card selling right now, since we have a shortage for $500 or so, is definitely not worth it. I do not recommend you trying to buy it for that price. At that particular point, you'd be better off, like I said, getting a 3070, trying to wait it out, or get like a 2080 Super, 2080 Ti for roughly the same price. But if this card were to come in stock and it sold around $300, $329 like it's saying it will, I definitely expect this card to take over with the mass usage. So right now on Steam, the 1060 has the most usage out of any other graphics card. That's the most popular one that everybody is using currently. And with this being a certain price point and this having way more performance than the 1060, if we were able to get more in stock, I definitely think that this graphics card will take off and more people will use it. Now, the maximum power draw will be 170 watts. It includes 1 HDMI and 3 display ports. And for the memory type, you're looking at GDDR6. The base clock will be 1320 megahertz, the boost clock will be 1777 megahertz, and the memory clock will be 1875 megahertz at 15 gigabytes per second. Now, the processor size is 8 nanometers, and of course the architecture is Ampere. So all in all, this is a great graphics card. I'm thinking about picking one up myself, but I'm definitely not trying to purchase this graphics card for $500. That's just ridiculous to me. But if you guys really want a graphics card and you're really trying to push to purchase one, then go right ahead. I know I've seen a couple of them on eBay already for like $1,000. It's terrible that the market just sucks right now. But like I said, with the 12 gigabytes RAM, really don't look at that. It's not worth it. You're not going to use it. It's really just a marketing gimmick. You're not really going to use all that. The memory size is just way too much for this card. I would rather see 12 gigabytes on a 3070 or the 3080. Now, the 3080, as you know, comes with 11 gigs. The 3070 comes with, I believe, 8. So they're just trying to make it seem like, oh, well, the 3060 is real powerful. It's 12 gig. You need to go out and get it. Don't even look at the memory size. You won't use all of it at all. Now, I'm sure it's a great card. I'm sure it runs really great and stuff like that. But with the 12 gigabyte memory size, just ignore that. That's just more or less a marketing gimmick to get you to purchase the card. And I think it's going to fool a lot of people, because when you go on eBay or something like that and you try to actually purchase the card, you'll see that 12 gigabyte and you'll be like, wow, this card's probably amazing. Well, in reality, you're not even going to be using it, because even at the recommended gaming resolutions, 4K really isn't recommended for this card. 1440p really is on like the border. Like, I expect 1440p to run high graphic settings in some type of setting, or depending on the game, but as far as like just running everything ultra, I think you'll see a significant decrease in frames per second. And as gamers or first person shooters, you really don't want nothing like that. Now, if you're playing like an RPG or like a story-based game like RDR2 or something like that, you'll definitely want to pump out the resolution and just, you know, enjoy the game and enjoy what's been brought to you. Now, that is all the news that I have today. I want to thank you all so much for coming and watching. I will have Far Future review, and I also will have Threaded Needle coming out real soon. I love those two weapons. I can't wait to show you guys all my clips that I've gotten with them, as well as the rolls that I have with those weapons too. I want to thank you all once again so much for coming and watching. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you all have a wonderful day.